you spend a lot of your childhood feeling rejected, didn't you, particularly by your father?
I did, yes. I'm one of the many. I think we all feel rejected by somebody, either as the father or the mother or as the work or as your colleagues at school. But I did feel rather rejected by my father, and I'm sure that was responsible for a lot of my peculiar kind of, you know, habits, tastes or quirks. Our insecurities.
In what sense did your father reject you?
He came from a generation of people pre-war that their parents fled from Romania, and their main concern was just to earn a living, to get work, to put food on the table. They came from a kind of gypsy-ish kind of family. They always loved sitting around the table playing cards. He wasn't really a family man.
And he left in the end, didn't he?
Pardon?
He left the family.
He left partly, and then he did come back when he was older, and then until he died. But I don't think he had time for family life.
Did you ever reconcile with him?
I did towards the end, but for some unearthly reason, he found fault with me. He seemed to resent me. I think I was a responsibility he had not looked for. He hadn't wanted a second child. My sister was older. He hadn't wanted a second child. And my mother told me this. And I can say something now on television which would be very revealing. But he didn't want me. So what my mother did, she put a pin in the Durex so that...
so she could get pregnant.
Exactly. I came out through the hole in the Durex. Yes, that's how I came in this world.
And does that, even at the age of 76 now, does that rejection by your father, he didn't even want you conceived in the first place,
no.
Does that still shape you?
It shapes me, oh, more than you can say, because I look for approval, and from people, but then they can no longer be older than me, they used to be older, I would look for approval. If somebody said, well done, Steve, that was great, my heart goes out to them. If I'm working for a boss, they're never on theatre, of course, they don't employ me, but in the movies, if the guy is a decent director, I will do anything for them. I will get on my knees, I will clean the floor, I will do anything to show I'm a loyal worker, and I never whinge, unless I'm abused, of course.
You have a reputation, as you know, for being egotistical, a bit of an egomaniac, and an increasingly angry old man.
Yeah.
Do you think you deserve those reputations?
Not a bit. Not a bit, because I'm not, none of those things. It started when I was trying to work as a director and making my own work. I adapted unique works. I didn't go the usual route, and I adapted works by Edgar Allan Poe and Franz Kafka. And some of the works were received well, others not so. Sometimes with a mockery, because I was treading unfamiliar ground. And sometimes that mockery was so unpleasant. I did a production of Hamlet in the 80s, and it was kind of mockery. So I angrily defended the productions like you would defend your children.
Did you?
It wasn't because of arrogance. It was because I was defending it against a very unjustifiable, vitriolic press.